I think we're ready to kick this off. Miss Mandy, you good to go with things? As joining as co-host with Corey and I and Troy?
I'm ready. I'm picking up the slack for whatever Troy leaves behind, which I doubt will be much, but I'll be here. I'll be the ultimate net man today.
Perfect. Well, I think we should get started. Welcome all you attendees on the Zoom this evening. Thank you for making the time to join us. I'm Drew Arnold, Reed Sporting Goods, along with Mr. Corey Brock, partner in crime here. We're actually inside the Reed Ice House showroom. It's a unique here in Walker, Minnesota. Mandy's been up, and a few of you guys on the call may have been in the showroom already. So we took a vacant building, rented it for the next couple of months to bring the sports show feel right here to Walker, Minnesota. So literally there's 35 houses on display from Eskimo, Otter, and Clam here in Walker. The name of the game is have all the houses set up. It's open to the public. It is unlocked, if you can believe it, Mandy and Troy. So anybody can come in here 9:30, 5:30, Wednesday through Sunday, and browse at their own. Take a picture of the house you want to deal on, walk across the street, and we take care of them. So it's an unmanned showroom for the first time ever, I think, in the ice fishing history. Even the guys in Wisconsin don't do things like this, Mandy. But anyways, so this evening we're joined with Miss Mandy Ulrich down in Brainerd, Minnesota. Thanks for joining us, Mandy. And Mr. Troy Peterson over in the beautiful state of Wisconsin. And today we're going to talk all about Eskimo ice houses. I know we're going to talk a little bit about the 2600. I know there's a new thing called the 60th anniversary plaid edition, which we do have set up in the front of the showroom. So if you're driving through Walker, you can for sure see that. And then I know we got to talk about some of the basics, your old style 3i and your wide one and some of the core houses that really have made Eskimo ice houses what they are today. So with that, Mandy, do you want to take it over and talk a little about flips, or do you want Troy to start?
I think Troy's gonna just start. What do you got behind you there, Troy?
So I've got.
I think you want to start on that 2600 if we're looking at the new flips, right?
Yeah, let's. You might as well just go right into the good one right away and. So what we've got is the new Escape series from Eskimo. Now, what's really interesting about this? Let's go back 10 years, and. We talk about the side entry doors and stuff like that. Everybody's been really excited about that over the past few years. But we go back 10 years, and Eskimo was the first company to ever have side doors on a shelter in their original Escape series. They actually had skylights up on top as well. They had a really nice big roto-molded sled. It was kind of a little bit ahead of its time. And, the reintroduction and redesign of the Escape series is absolutely stunning what they did. And we're going to show that to you here right now. So we've got two models, 2600, 2800, 26 square feet, 28 square feet of fishable area. This is the 2600. It kind of is off the Apex frame, if you're familiar with the Apex last year. It's going to be off that same sled, same frame style. And then the 2800 is going to be off the Grizzly sled with the roto-molded sled and a bigger frame. The nice thing about the Escape series for you guys that have short beds and tonneau covers, this will fit in your truck and underneath your tonneau cover. They did a fantastic job designing this, keeping it low, but still having a nice deep sled to put some stuff in. So let's walk you around the side here.
I think Troy, to hit on that for a second, your sled is one of the best things that Eskimo did to go right after Otter with this house. And I think it's a great move. You take your proceeds in your Otter, you take the webbing seats that come out of River's Edge Deer Stand, and you guys might have knocked it out of the park 100% with this house.
Yeah, so, when you look at our seats, anybody that deer hunts knows how comfortable the River's Edge seats are. And the webbing on these seats, you can sit in them all day long and not get a sore butt. With our seats, what's really nice is you can flip these up to get at any of your stuff in your sled. They'll move forward and back. They'll slide left and right, and both seats. And if you want to take one out, these pins in the back here, you just pull a pin, and this whole seat can come right out. And if you only want to use one seat and keep this spot here for your dog, you put a dog bed in, and keep your pup inside. But they did a fantastic job. And what's really neat, if you want to step back, the framework, when you look at some of the other shelters that are on the market with the side doors, you've got extra poles and stuff that you got to deal with. But what the engineers did is really, you look at a typical shelter and you've got 4 poles typically. You've got a back, kind of a center pole, one that comes off to the side, and then the one that goes down to the ice. What they did with the one that comes up this way is they moved the pivot point from here just up a little ways and actually have another bracket. And that is essentially that pivotal pole. So there's no extra moving parts. Everything collapses down just like it normally would if you had, a standard 4 poles. But by doing that, you get this side entrance door, and you can, keep all your stuff out in front of you and not have to worry about tripping over anything as you get up, go in and out of the shelter. For guiding, this thing is awesome because we always have our heaters and our locators and minnow buckets, and guys are always tripping or bumping the heater against the fabric and starting them on fire. That's going to pretty much eliminate all this, especially if you have, kids in that too. This makes it super easy for getting in and out.
Fantastic. That's a great review on that new beast. But I think, the beautiful thing about it is there's nothing you guys really missed. I mean, you just rattled off, Troy, I think about 18 different advantages of that house to make it better. If Mandy, did he miss any or?
No, he didn't. It's awesome.
I mean, that's fantastic, Troy. Hey, Miss Mandy, can I ask you about what you think about the 2600 compared to the old Legend, the old the Sierra Thermal? I mean, that's been a bulletproof staple at Reed's, not a lot of retailers because there's so many across the ice. What do you think some of the pros and cons of those two are, or is the Sierra Thermal still a backup to this 2600?
I think it absolutely. I believe truly that the Sierra really is. It's going to be a staple and continue to be a staple. There again, it's one of those ones that can slide. It fits underneath your tonneau cover. It's a step, now 2 steps down in size and weight below the Grizzly. It still has the thermal capabilities. You've got a lot of fishable space there. It's lightweight, but still has a durable sled on it. So you've got the mobility when you're on the ice to be able to travel and still have, fishable room. The big difference is obviously between the Sierra and then going to the 2600 is going to be that difference in the sled itself, with a little bit heavier duty sleigh going into the 2600 compared to the Sierra, which Troy already mentioned that sled is actually the same exact sled that was designed for the Apex that now is on the 2600. But the big difference obviously is the side doors. So it's all about the personal preference for what you really like. I've ran the Sierra. I actually prototyped the Apex and that sled, which if anybody was on for Troy's last one, Troy's got the, a quite quirky little name about being the destroyer. Well, they call me Wreck-It Ralph. So when we pro staff and when we prototype things together, and if it outlasts both of us, trust me, it's a quality product. So it's still going to be a staple. It's still there. It's still not an awesome option, but that's the cool part. Like, there's so many steps in so many different houses that Eskimo has and price points that there literally is a house for everybody in every need and every price point.
Yeah, and I think one thing with the thermal too, I mean, for a lot of people that are wanting to be mobile, it's a great one-man big house too. I mean, one person can throw that Sierra Thermal around, throw it in the back of a truck, throw it in the back of a side-by-side. You can even pull a seat out of there. So if you just want a big, roomy one-man house, that's the other place where a lot of people are using that Sierra house too. So yeah, it's a great house as well.
And
I was just going to touch base on that too with that jump, especially. I'm a little person, you can't tell now, but I'm even littler than Drew and Troy. And for me, I do a lot of fishing by myself, and the weight of that Sierra was, before we came up with this 2600, was why I went to that. The Grizzly was a little too much for me to be able to pick up and load into the back of my truck, but that I can pick up that Sierra and load it by myself. So good point on that.
Yep. And the other house too that we can't forget about too, talking about staples, is the true wide one. We've got it on the display over in the store, but the wide one with expandable poles for a guy like you were talking, Corey, that wants to fish by himself. I mean, that's a great option as well. You look at all 3 scenarios for all the different anglers out on the ice today. Eskimo really has them covered. Side doors, front door, lightweight, and the best one man on the market for a great adjustable front.
As far as width and fishable area, the wide one is really, the last few years has been a very, very popular house for the one man fishing market.
Yeah. And
hey, Drew.
Yes, sir.
Can you, so we had one question from Stan, and I'm going to walk over and show him a question about removable windows. For Stan, all of our windows on all of our shacks are removable. I'm just gonna open this one up here.
And that's that's the TPC as well. So I believe you cannot rip that, correct?
Being that they're all removable, it's just the Velcro tab. You can pull them off. So if you tear them, crack them, whatever. I've never had any problems with cracking. What I use them for is for when clients are in there and they need a drink, rather than opening up the door and letting heat out. We just open up a window and slide a beer for them.
That's it. That's it. But like I was saying, I think you cut out. That's that TPC material. The same thing they build convertibles and stuff on it, so you can't crack it no matter what it was.
Correct.
Yep.
I think Troy's losing reception here, but yes, you're absolutely correct.
Hey, Mandy, we got to talk a little bit. Troy heard this last time, but we got to think a little sports show setting for 1 second. So typically it shows we run 20 off on all accessories. Corey, Kevin, etc. can offer that deal. So we're trying to do that at Reed's, and how we're doing that this year is a coupon code at the checkout, Mandy, and it's ICE 2020. So any of the anglers on the Zoom can see that, use that code. You won't see the discount on a lot of the products until you actually put it in your cart and use that code at checkout. ICE 2020 will get you 20% off your accessories. And then also in addition, we are doing the 15% off for this Zoom session through December 20th. And obviously that is too good to be on the web or too good to actually print anywhere. So ICE 2020 will get you that. I know we're doing free shipping on all hubs, Mandy, like we're at a show. And
Awesome.
even to you, Troy, in Wisconsin, I know flip shacks in Minnesota are $75. You Wisconsin guys and gals are about 100, but just because it's a little extra further distance. But either way, it's way better than $300 for FedEx was last year on them. So pretty much $100 gets it to the door on any flip, and free shipping on all hubs, including the discount of 15% off. So I hope there's no Eskimo factory guys or gals on this, or potential other retailers that don't like this type of stuff. But here we are. So if you use ICE 2020 at checkout, put that code in your cart and you'll get a deal as well. So Mandy, I'll let you keep going. I just wanted to cover that.
I really appreciate you. We are winners over here. We do have a little bit better football team, so we appreciate you taking care of us winners over here in Wisconsin.
You got it. Yes, for sure. The poor guys in Pennsylvania, we can still ship them in Eskimo, but it's not nearly as good as coming to Wisconsin. So the other one thing too is, you think about accessories for houses that are out there, and now Eskimo's got 2 different hitches. They've got 2 different covers. They have 1 standard high fax for all the sleds, which is fantastic. Same thickness, just different lengths. So the accessories are very, very core. The other new accessory that I know we picked up this year is an accessory that mounts the back of the actual sled to hold your poles. A lot of anglers get frustrated. Those poles are rolling around the floor. There you go. That's it.
Got it right here.
That's it. And so that you mount to the back of the sled, and it keeps all your poles out of the way.
From banging around, clanking around there like they have for years and years and years. Now you can get them all strapped in back there.
Correct.
Yep.
There's a whole plethora of them. I mean, and they're great stocking stuffers. So if everybody's on here already getting a great discount, things that can be used both in your flip shelter and in your pop-ups. How about the shelter coat hooks? Those are a staple. You gotta have them, right? Like, doesn't matter what house you've got, you should have a set of these. It's gonna make things super convenient for you.
For sure.
Hitches, you gotta have the tow hitch for your flip, right? So you're gonna be able to hook something on from that universal hitch that you've got going there. Now, I would say my important one for your flip houses is gonna be that battery tray. If you're running LED lights in yours like I am, this is super convenient. It's mounted in there. So then all you do is when you get in, you plug in your lights and you can fish all night long.
Positively. Hey, thanks for bringing that up, man. Those are all great accessories. And the key is trying to make it user-friendly for everybody on the ice. And if there's any questions, I see there was a chat that just came through about the height on that wide one in Fierno. I believe it is 60 inches once it is set up inside. Your max height 60 inches.
I'm 6 feet tall. This will give you your idea of height of that wide one. So,
but if there's any other questions that are out there, feel free to send them over between Mandy, myself, Troy, and
Hey, Drew.
Yes, sir.
For the guys that want to see the wide one, can you flip that open and show them how that works? I wish I had one set up here. That is probably one of the best one-man shelters I think ever designed. I know it took a few years for that to kind of get off the ground because people didn't really know what it was and how it operated, what was the wide one. But go ahead and show them what that actually does, with that, with the, the spreadable bar out in front and actually opening up the ice in front.
Nope, and it might be a little tough to see here, but I mean, if you look at the width of the sled, these poles are actually coming up and they're coming out and back up. So you're gaining that fishable area out in front of you. So when I'm sitting in this sled, my fishable area is the width-wise out front. That's where I'm gaining that width. So they're the only fish house in the industry that basically does something like that. Basically to take that one-man house, widen it out, giving you more space out there to be able to fish with.
Yeah, and for guys, you look at it when it's opened up, there's one button, same buttons that are in all of our houses. You push the one button, it slides down, flips over, and is no wider than the sled or any other one man that's out there. So very nice design that they have there.
And the other fun thing built into that house too is you've got basically a storage tray built right in the bottom of this. So it's a mesh bag, so everything can drip through, but it's a great spot to throw your waxies, your extra rod and reel, your battery, etc. So it's a fun little feature. The other thing we should switch over to is, and we're going to try to adjust the camera, so I apologize about that, is let's talk a little bit about Outbreaks. Outbreaks are a hot new item, and they came out last year, but I mean, Troy, you've got more ice time than anybody on this Zoom, I'm sure, in an Outbreak. So why don't you take it away and talk a little bit about Outbreak, excuse me. So
the Outbreak is, again, when you look at Eskimo and what they've done, they were the innovators of hub style shelters. They're the ones that invented the pop-up shelter. And, they always look at how can they fix problems that are out there versus just coming out with new ideas. And one of the problems with a pop-up is the D style door. And when we look at doors, Eli wants to come over here. This is what's known as a D style door. So you have something that you have to step over to get in, and that can be hard for bigger people, smaller people. For me guiding handicapped people, guys that actually bring out their wheelchairs and stuff out on the ice. It's hard to get somebody into something like that. So what Eskimo did, their engineers went to the drawing board and they come out with a design that is a full door all the way down to the ice, and you can walk in and out easily. You got plenty of headroom, and it doesn't matter how big or small you are. It's super easy to get in and out of the shelter. Just makes it more comfortable. And you've got 3 different models this year. They'll disregard the name here. This is last year's model, the 450i. They have a 450 XD, a 250 XD, and the 650 XD. Now that 250 is a phenomenal shack for 1 or 2 guys that want to go out, stay extremely portable, walk-in trips, going to areas where you gotta backpack in or whatnot. Everything is fully insulated. You don't have to worry about the sweat from heaters or anything like that. Just an overall a great shack to complement the 450 and the 650. 650 is your party shack. I don't know if you guys have one of those set up there, but that thing is huge.
Hey, speaking of that, if you're getting in the entry level fish house today and you don't want to go up to a $300 or $400 fish house, we gotta keep our mind on that old 3 and the 3i and the 5 and the 5i. Troy, I think you have one of those set up, or do you not? Do you want us to?
No, I don't have any of the 3i's. I've got the 3 behind me here. I've got the 60th anniversary edition.
Perfect.
That is basically the same size of like a 949 that's been a staple for many years. Just with the new 60th anniversary edition logo and the awesome flag. The one thing about ice fishing, you got to look cool, and you're going to look awesome in one of those.
That's fantastic. So if you look at this house that Corey and I are trying to pull Havana on, this is the 3i. It's been out there forever. Great price point that anybody can get into for about $235. You're into this house. Yes, it's insulated, but notice the design. It's a standard square on square. So it's got the popped out sides, but it's not a fat fish. But this is a great option for somebody who's going to get into the entry. And then you go to your fat fish, and Troy, that's what you were talking about, which is fantastic. We've got the standard 949i set up, and you were showing the 60th anniversary, which is an awesome house as well. But notice the bottom. So you're double the size in the bottom. So your fishable space is 61 square feet on a 949i, which is one of the leaders in the market. So basically, if you take it, you look at it, you're a 6-man top with an 8-man bottom, or you jump down a little bit and you go to a 4-man top with a 6-man bottom. So 2 different styles. And of course, you can go to the 94-16 and the 6120 to keep blowing it up. But all different options for, the price point guy or gal wants to get in this, because, this is a year that a lot of anglers are going to get into ice fishing and get outside and enjoy it with the amazing restrictions we've all been battling through. This is the season that everybody can get out and enjoy and share some time with the family and friends at an affordable rate. And that's where Eskimo's, original quick fish series comes into play.
Yep, absolutely.
Eskimos kind of led the industry with the pop-up houses. They were kind of the first ones out there that came up with the pop-up style house, and have continued to basically evolve with, all of their new designs and everything. But they have definitely led the industry on that pop-up world.
Positively. So is there any other questions or anything we can help with the anglers on the Zoom call today between Miss Mandy, Mr. Troy, Corey, and myself? We'd be glad to help. If you want to chat about them or shoot them over, that'd be great. We're here to help and deliver the best service we can. So,
A couple other accessories to complement the hub shacks. With a flip, you already have your chairs and everything built in, but there are a bunch of new accessories. We've got little tables. Everything just folds up. You've got the everything's kind of gone to that plaid. The pretty much the look of Eskimo. You've got the plaid chairs, the plaid tables. Just all kinds of nice little things that can complement your hub shacks.
Positively, we just need to get that
Don't
plaid
forget
apparel.
this one, another stocking stuffer. If you're running those hubs, it's going to be important to make sure that you've got that universal adapter that you can put on a drill and you can use it for your ice anchors, and you're not down there manually trying to screw those in.
Yeah, positively, because the ice anchors come with all the hubs, so that's a great accessory you're talking about. Stocking stuff for sure. And the good thing is, the Reeds team has got their elves hat pretty much on from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. right now, 7 days a week here. Got guys and gals picking orders at the DC, trying to get it out the door as quick as we can, so it's delivered to your door across the country for the great, amazing Christmas experience coming at us. But the other thing to note too is, when Troy was zooming in on those new plaid accessories, Mandy, I think, he's missing one key component to this. And I think we're going to talk about that at 8 o'clock tonight, 8 p.m. We're going to talk about the new apparel, the new mitts, the new plaid look for, I believe you're hosting it with the women's apparel, the youth apparel, and the men lineup for Eskimo.
Yep.
So I know, Troy, we're going to get you in a pair of those plaid pajama pants and plaid boots at some point, but,
I can show you the plaid boxers right now if you want.
No.
That's okay.
I'm trying.
One question that came in was on the Sierra Thermal, pulling it by hand and the weight with it. Pulling it by hand, pulling the seat out of it. What was it, Drew?
82 pounds is the true weight with the seats in it. And going off the shipping scale, each of those seats weighs about 3 to 3.5 pounds. So if you pull 7 pounds out of there, it's pretty easy to do. And it's got a nice elevated front end as well.
Yep, pretty easy pullable house for one person, I would say, definitely.
Yep. And to kind of touch on that too, they've got the tracking kits for guys that do a lot of towing. Get yourself the Hyfax kits. Otherwise, a quick and easy fix if you don't want to put all the runners on, just a pair of cross-country skis on the bottom too works. I've seen a lot of people do that. Guys will build Schmitty sleds and whatnot, but definitely this is well worth an investment for every sled that you get, is to get yourself one of the tracking kits, just to save the bottom plastic on your sled.
Yep. And one of the other questions just came through, which is a great one, is that accessory that holds your poles, the back of your sled, like Mandy was holding up, that does come standard on the 26 and 2800. So it holds all 4 poles right on the back of that sled. And we can definitely try to get a picture of that too. So we'll send that over here in a minute. But I would say that was That's perfect. That's absolutely it. But I think our next session for all you listening to, we're going to do a great run through on the ion augers coming at you here in a few minutes. But again, like I rattled off earlier, that ICE 2020 at checkout can save you a boatload of money, both on your house and on your accessories. Free shipping on all the hubs, great rates on all the flips. Otherwise, if you have any questions, call us 7 days a week. We're open 9:30 to 5:30. The call center is there to answer any questions in person. We've got great guys and gals answering. Then a minute or two, we'll get an expert on the phone at 800-346-0019 to answer those questions. But before we wrap up, I'm going to switch back over to that 2600 and show you that picture where those brackets are stored. So if anybody has any other questions, we appreciate everybody jumping
there was
in.
a question.
Go ahead, Troy.
Question, Drew. Hank was asking what the name of that one man was. That is this Eskimo wide one, the wide one Inferno.
Gotcha, I missed that. Sorry about that, Hank. And Corey's going to bring the camera over and we'll show you that where the brackets are stored. And this is both in the 2600 and the 2800, right back down in the bottom there in that side of that sled. Hopefully that helps you look at that. So, but it's a great feature. Even, I mean, you look at the center console comes with it. Cup holders, tackle box, molded in battery. So you drop your battery right in there and you're set. So, well, I think that's a pretty good wrap. We're going to jump into ions next, but we appreciate it for jumping on and joining us this evening. Hopefully we can save you some money or answer some questions or helpful tricks of the trade. So from Reeds and the team at Eskimo, Miss Mandy and Mr. Troy, thank you all, and we'll see you on the ice.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.